Hello, my name is Dan Burrill and I'm the Recycling Program Manager with the Environmental Center.
And I'm Jessica Bradley, Recycling and Solid Waste Manager for Facilities Management.
Welcome to the Recycling Program at the University of Colorado at Boulder, where our mantra is, we need to see you recycling. This is not a wish or a want or a hope, but it's a need, as the future of life depends on proper waste management practices from all parts of the globe. Not only does recycling save valuable resources, reduce pollution, and generate revenue from the sale of materials, but it also has a positive impact on people. First of all, recycling creates green-collar jobs for many people that wouldn't otherwise be available if our waste was just merely sent to the landfill. Second, recycling is a source of environmental justice, as it can improve the health and living conditions of many people. Living near a landfill produces many negative impacts to one's health. Things like toxic runoff when a landfill leaches into the water, diesel fumes created by many large trucks, and awful daily smells that create a poor living environment. So, by recycling, you're actually reducing the need for new landfills to be created in people's backyards. Lastly, recycling can reduce the effects of climate change by reducing carbon emissions and methane produced in a landfill.
Since 1976, CU Recycling has gained national prominence in the campus recycling industry and beyond. Our ongoing mission is to have efficient waste diversion operations on campus while fostering meaningful student involvement and raising awareness of the need to recycle. CU Recycling's efforts continue to save countless resources that include water, trees, petroleum, electricity, and landfill space. With your help, our efforts will support the campus's goal of going zero waste.
Started by student efforts, recycling has long since been integrated into daily campus operations. This is a result of a strong interdepartmental partnership between facilities management, housing and dining services, and the CU student government. Facilities management is responsible for the collections and operations of the program. Housing and dining services supports our zero waste efforts in the residence halls and in the dining centers. And the Environmental Center represents the CU student government role and provides student staff for recycling operations and zero waste events.
The Recycling Operations Center, or ROC, has three main purposes. The first is to provide collection support for the facilities management recycling crews by emptying bins in a timely manner. The second is to upgrade the materials that will leave the ROC to be sold on the open markets. We live by a highest and best use ideal, where the materials can be upcycled into the highest quality end products as possible. Lastly, the ROC consolidates the processed materials that leave campus into large dumpsters called roll-offs, so that we can make fewer delivery trips, saving gas and labor hours.
Recycling on the CU campus starts with the consumer, who has to make the correct choice when disposing of their waste. Once the correct decision is made to use one of the thousands of recycling bins on campus, the facilities management recycling crews collect all of the recycling bins across campus. Those full bins are brought to the ROC, which is where the student role comes in. Full bins are loaded into the dumper, then spread across the sorting line with the high-quality materials ending up in the tip cart at the end of the line. The tip carts are weighed, recorded, and then dumped into the roll-offs under the tipping floor. Once in the roll-offs, the materials can be shipped off campus to the next step in the recycling process.
So what is the next step in the recycling process? Where do the materials go from the ROC? Ultimately, the materials end up at manufacturing facilities that turn them into feedstock for new products. But to get there, CU contracts with various vendors to sell our marketable materials. Companies like EcoCycle and Western Disposal play a large role in the recycling industry around Boulder County, and CU Recycling works with these companies to ensure that our materials are marketed for highest and best use. Some of our materials go through the Boulder County Recycling Center, where they are further processed, baled, and put onto trains to be shipped to end markets. The world of recycling is vast and fascinating, so let's start by taking a look at how you will be contributing to the success of CU Recycling.
At the ROC, the role of the student employee is to support the main functions of the facility. First, in order to support the collection operations, you must make sure we have enough empty polycarts for the facilities management recycling crews to use throughout the campus buildings. Second, we need you to focus on creating a high quality of recyclable materials that leave the facility. The goal is to provide the highest and best use of the materials to be upcycled for their next life. Last but not least, you are responsible to maintain a clean, safe, and respectful environment for all those that work at the ROC. Sweeping during idle times, using proper safety equipment, and helping others with tasks are all ways you can keep a positive work atmosphere.
Safety is a priority and it's everyone's responsibility, including yours. There is heavy equipment with moving parts along with people walking around handling materials, so you must pay attention at all times. You need to know all the proper safety guidelines and procedures. If you are unclear on something, make sure to ask a lead worker or supervisor. At the ROC, we operate under a strict set of safety guidelines. A few of the most important safety rules are: always wear your safety glasses and work gloves. Please do not wear any open-toed shoes or sandals. Cell phones, headphones, or earbuds are not allowed in the sorting area. It's important not to play the music too loud so you can hear each other. Sweeping the floor often is also important to avoid slips, trips, and falls. And remember, if you are constantly communicating with your coworkers and are aware of your surroundings, safety will come naturally.
In order to sort materials effectively and efficiently on the line, you must first start with the correct staging of Rubbermaid bins. Each person on the line must have their own set of bins. As you are sorting out materials, they will go in these bins next to you, so make sure to keep them close by and pay attention to where you throw items. Since we have a dual stream collection system on campus, we keep papers separate from commingle containers. This allows us to have two main lines at the ROC, a dry line to sort paper and a wet line to sort commingle containers. Both lines must operate with a minimum of 2 people.
There are 3 main sorting positions that must be followed for sorting to work effectively and efficiently. The first is the dumper position, where a person will operate the hydraulic dumper to spread the materials across the line for sorting. This position sets the pace of the sort, so it is important to provide an even distribution of materials on the line. This position also helps sort materials as they go by. The second position is the end of the sort line. Here you are in control of the speed of the line, along with making sure materials are filling the tip cart correctly. You are also responsible for sorting materials and can stop the line as necessary. The third position is the runner. This person is often going back and forth between running and sorting on the line, but if there are enough people to sort, then this position can focus solely on running. This entails filling the dumper, swapping out full tip carts for empty ones, emptying full Rubbermaid bins from the line, weighing and dumping tip carts, washing poly carts, and sweeping when idle. An effective runner will allow the sorters to never have to leave the line so they can continuously sort materials.
As we mentioned before, the campus collects most of its material in a dual stream collection process, keeping our paper fibers free from liquids and contamination. As you work at the ROC, you will see that this makes the sorting process much more effective and efficient, allowing for high-quality materials to leave our facility.
We have 4 main grades of paper in our sorting process. White ledger, which is only white paper. This is the highest quality fiber and will be turned directly back into more white paper, so we have to make sure there are no colors or other types of paper in this grade. Office pack is also considered a high grade of paper, but it is not as high quality as white ledger. It will include some white paper, but also includes things like colored office paper, folders, and notebook paper. Mixed paper is our lowest grade and includes things like magazines, catalogs, newspapers, glossy flyers, and paperboard. Cardboard is kept separate from all other paper grades and includes corrugated cardboard, brown paper bags, and craft envelopes. Commingled containers is another grade and is basically all the glass, plastic, and aluminum. These items will be sorted again at the Boulder County Recycling Center, where they are separated by type of metal, plastic, and glass. Our job at the ROC is to pull out all prohibitives like plastic bags and compostable plastics. Oftentimes, we get items in our recycling bins that cannot be recycled through the traditional process, but we can recycle them through other channels. These are called special materials, and we pull them off the line and put them into their designated bins, where they will be further sorted for shipment. These items include CDs, DVDs, jewel cases, VHS tapes, cassettes, floppy disks, transparencies, Tyvek envelopes, and reusable office supplies.
Our sorting process at the ROC mainly consists of what we call a negative sort. Through this process, we sort out all the items that don't belong in that grade. The 2 main types of materials we pull off the line are referred to as prohibitives and contaminants. Prohibitives are items that will cause an entire load of recycling to be rejected and therefore must be pulled off the line. Contaminants are items that do not belong in that grade, but there is a small percentage allowed to sneak through without compromising the load of recycling. We try to remove contaminants, but it is not as necessary as pulling out all the prohibitives. Here we would like to remind you of our highest and best use approach to recycling. Our focus is on extremely high quality material leaving our facility to ensure it is upcycled into high quality products, reducing the need for virgin resources and generating higher revenues for the recycling program.
If you are ever confused, you can refer to our training boards located on the wall of the ROC near the scale. These boards provide detailed information about the specific materials that should go in each grade. And remember, when in doubt, ask someone. There are lead workers, veterans, and supervisors around at all times, so don't be afraid to ask.
At some point, you will be responsible for weighing and dumping a tip cart into the roll-offs through the tipping floor. Use our certified floor scale to weigh the tip cart, make sure to record it with the sorting record on the computer, and then dump it into the proper roll-off. Weighing and dumping tip carts are part of the same step. Do not weigh a tip cart unless you are going to immediately dump it into a roll-off. This will ensure accurate weight measurements. If you are dumping commingled containers, you should wear the protective headphones to block out the sound and notify your fellow coworkers by yelling "dumping" so they can cover their ears.
Make sure to know where to dump the specific grades of materials. There are separate roll-offs under the tipping floor for commingled containers, mixed papers, office pack, and white paper. To safely dump materials on the tipping floor, you must only dump where a safety cage is set up. If the section of the roll-off below the safety cage is full, you will need to move the safety cage and set it up properly in its new location. To do so, you must first lower the grate using the winch system. When lowering, make sure not to let go of the handle of the winch. If you lose control of the handle, let it go completely and don't try to catch it, which can cause serious injury. Once grates are down, remove the 4 pins from the grate so you can reposition the cage. Make sure the cage is properly aligned over the grates before replacing the pins. Reattach the winch cable to the grates and make sure to flip the switch on the winch so it will lift properly and avoid accidental release of the grates. Make sure to completely raise the grates and secure them with the additional chains provided. Now you are ready to dump your next tip cart.
The cardboard compactor must also be operated safely following the correct procedures. Make sure to be extremely careful when the safety gate is open not to fall into the chute. Also, be very careful not to fall in when dumping tip carts or mail carts into the compactor. If you feel a cart falling into the chute, don't let it pull you in too. Once the material is safely dumped into the compactor, close the safety gate and push the compacting button. Refer to the operations guidelines located next to the cardboard compactor for details. Cleaning equipment, bins, and the floor is an ongoing process at the ROC. There are also extra cleaning steps to take at the end of the day when closing down the facility. Commingled tip carts must be cleaned when you are done sorting on the wet line. Commingled poly carts must be washed out as soon as you have them emptied so they can be cleaned when they go back into the buildings across campus. Since the commingled line is wet, it gets many juices and schwill throughout its parts, which requires extra cleaning. We spray down the entire line with water and then use an enzyme spray for a deep cleaning at the end of each day. We also make sure to thoroughly clean the dumper, including the inside, outside, underside, and following the correct safety procedures.
All parts of the floor, including under both lines, the wash bay, and any floor space, must be swept thoroughly at the end of the day. To the best of your ability, sort out recyclables from trash when picking up the items off the ground. All polycarts have a correct home. Make sure to know where to put empty polycarts and where full polycarts go. Compost polycarts are located outside the east side of the building, up the ramp, and against the fence. These must be kept outside in order to keep pests and smells to a minimum. Textbook polycarts must also go in their correct location. When closing, you must not forget to clean the basement below the tipping floor. Materials often miss the roll-offs and end up on the floor, which must be picked up at the end of each day so the area is clean and hazard-free for others using the basement. Bins are located in the basement and must be emptied when closing, returning the empty bins back to the basement for use the next day.
If you are a community service worker or volunteer and only working a few shifts at the ROC, we must limit your role and responsibilities. You are not allowed to do the following: weigh and dump tip carts, and operate the dumper. As a reminder, we do not allow cell phones in the ROC, no headphones or earbuds, no open-toed shoes, and you must wear all the proper safety equipment. We hold the right to send you home if you do not follow any of these procedures and will not sign off on your hours.
Wow, that was a lot of information. We thank you for paying attention to this training video. We wanted to leave you with a few closing remarks. My name's Jack DeBell, the Recycling Development Director within the Environmental Center. And although it might be hard to realize it from the video, your role within C Recycling is crucial to the process on campus and supports the recycling of tons of materials. From operational efficiencies to highest and best use of materials to safety and respect, you'll be responsible for having a serious impact on the local, domestic, and even global recycling industry. Working at the facility can be a fun and friendly place. There's a lot of great people who share the passion that you may for zero waste in the environment. It's your responsibility, however, to continue this positive atmosphere by respecting your fellow co-workers, working together as a team. The saying, many hands make light work, is really true at this facility, and over the course of the year together we'll be handling hundreds if not thousands of tons of material. You'll be responsible for keeping a safe work atmosphere, as your actions will impact those around you. You'll be working with some heavy equipment and machinery and possibly some potentially dangerous materials, so you'll always need to pay attention, be respectful, know the proper safety and operational procedures. And so by following these procedures, we can continue to have an injury-free workplace that is not only safe, but fun for us all. So as we wrap up, I'd like to encourage you to take recycling beyond this job and to your studies here at CU. You can make a difference with your degree by focusing some of your coursework or research on topics around recycling or zero waste. Beyond class, you can integrate zero waste into your lifestyle and lead by example. Your friends and family will see your efforts and understand the importance of their daily actions in relation to the environment, economics, and most importantly, to people. So thank you for being part of C Recycling, and we'll see you soon.